Alright, guys. Okay. Today, 36% of adults have at least one tattoo. In the past, body modifications such as tattoos have been reserved for certain communities or members of the population, but they are becoming more and more popular for adults from all parts of society. I got my first tattoo at 18 and to celebrate my birthday, and I've since gotten 10 more. Each one has a special meaning and purpose to me, and I have many friends that have similar stories surrounding their tattoos. As tattoos become more and more popular, it is important that we try to move into a more progressive realm of thinking surrounding them. They have been around for thousands of years and have an abundant amount of meaning. People should not be discriminated against for their tattoos in a social or professional setting. As described in the history and origin of tattoos, the history of tattoos traces back thousands of years, and evidence of the art form has been found in regions across the globe. In September of 1991, scientists exploring the Ötztal Alps discovered the mummified remains of a man that lived from between 3370 and 3100 BC. They named him Ötzi, and he is believed to be the oldest example of tattooing in history. Ötzi had a total of 61 tattoos, most of which were on his legs. So here's a picture from the Smithsonian exhibit around him with just some of close-ups of his tattoos. So that's pretty interesting. As you can see, they look very different to what we see in tattooing today. While Ötzi is considered the oldest example of tattooing, there has also been evidence found in several other regions. Evidence of tattoos in Egypt date back as far as 2,000 years. This region was particularly interesting because, as well as for adornment purposes, tattooing also seems to have been used for medical purposes. Another unique aspect about the origins of tattooing in Egypt is that it seems to have only been something that was practiced on women. Ancient Greece and Rome also practiced the art of tattooing with evidence that dates back as far as 5th century BCE. It was common for this area for tattoos to be found on soldiers, weapons manufacturers, and criminals. Tattoos first became commonly seen in modern society around the 1920s. It was first commonly seen amongst workers in certain industries like sailors and entertainers. It then became a popular wave amongst women, with cosmetic tattoos such as tattooed lipstick and eyeliner becoming popular. This was mostly to avoid the high cost of makeup products at the time. So here are some examples of ads that were marketed to women for cosmetic tattoos, and this lower picture is an example of some tattooing that is done today that is similar to this wave. The 1940s also marked an iconic moment in tattoo history, with artist Norman Keith Collins beginning to add color to his tattoo designs. Most popular tattoo designs of the time were naval and World War II inspired. The 1940s also showed an increase in women getting tattoos for reasons other than makeup replacement. All of these small progressions have led tattooing to where it is today, an art form that is widely practiced and celebrated. Tattoos have become much more common. According to tattoo statistics, 3 out of 10 adults today have at least one tattoo. They are also no longer seemingly restricted to lower classes of society. Everyone has them. Tattoo designs have become wildly colorful, complex, and detailed, and the right artist can tattoo nearly anything you want on them. Here are some examples of how complex modern-day tattoos have become. The meanings of tattoos and the reasons that people get them has changed drastically throughout history. Tattoos have long been used to mark identity, from being personally selected pieces of self-expression to marks of society profession. From what we know, the original tattoos were typically on prisoners of war, criminals, and slaves. There is evidence of this across many cultures, from Egypt to Europe to China. Slaves in ancient Rome used to have their arms tattooed to show that the tax had been paid on them, a public mark of the government. In China, criminals used to have their faces tattooed so that they could easily be identified later. Tattoos have also been long used to mark profession. For thousands of years, soldiers in many regions have gotten tattoos to show their allegiance and to commemorate their service. Sailors have also been known to get naval-inspired tattoos, much like the Sailor Jerry tattoos of the 1940s. Many other groups have been known to get body art inspired by their lives. People in the medical field often get medical symbols tattooed on them. Gangs often have shared symbols that members get tattooed on them, and artists and actors get tattoos inspired by their crafts. Equally as important, tattoos are used as a form of self-expression. As we discussed before, cosmetic tattoos have become popular once again. Microblading for eyebrows, tattooed eyeliner, and tattooed lipstick are all trends that have been perfected over time and now are commonly seen. People also get tattoos for personal reasons. People often get tattoos dedicated to family or friends. They get pictures of their beloved pets tattooed on them. They get tattoos of quotes or lyrics they enjoy. All of these things can help a person like their body more. Beyond that, covering your body with art is fun. The combination of the art that they choose to get on their bodies is an external representation of the personality that they want the world to be able to see. As tattoos become a more common part of society, it is important that we remove the social and professional stigmas that surround them and end tattoo discrimination. Social discrimination against tattoos is a big problem due to the stigmas and stereotypes that follow tattooing and therefore impact the people that have body art. As discussed in Are People with Tattoos Stigmatized, assumptions are often made about people with tattoos that are less in line with modern times and more so with antiquated stereotypes. In some cultures, tattooing originated amongst criminals and slaves, which gave the whole practice a bad connotation. This created a stereotype that people with tattoos are deviant, irresponsible, dangerous, and mean, and that follows them to this day. People with visible body art tend to be approached more with hesitation than most, and are thought to have more negative personality traits than others, lower levels of inhibition, lower levels of sociability, and lower levels of confidence. This is an aspect of what we can call controllable stigma. People with body art are making a choice to get it, which relates to a choice to be stigmatized, but that does not mean that it is right. Professional discrimination against body art is also a big issue due to these stereotypes. It has been found that having visible body art can cost an applicant a job, as most hiring managers think that this creates a negative image of the company. They are also believed to be less competent and more risky hires. A big reason for this is that tattoos are seen to hurt company image because of their social connotations. We need to reverse the stigma so that people are not unfairly treated, whether it be socially or in the workforce. People with tattoos have not been proven to be less professional or less competent in any studies. If anything, body art can be a signifier of high levels of creativity, which can be a desirable trait in an applicant. Lawmakers are working to develop policies so that companies cannot discriminate new hires or base employees based on their tattoos. Currently, California is the only state with any such regulations. Tattooing has been around for thousands of years, and if recent trends are any indication, it will only become a more integral part of our society. People do not deserve to be judged based on their tattoos, and they should be given the same opportunities as others. Employers beginning to ignore the stigma surrounding body art may help the rest of society move on and do the same. Okay, so now we have sample questions, which if you want to pull the ones up that we wrote down.
All right. So what were Otzi's tattoos made with?
So Otzi's tattoos were made with animal teeth and bones, and fireplace ash and soot for the color.
What made tattooing become popular in America?
So it was really popular in a lot of regions in Europe, and as people immigrated to the Americas, I would assume it just probably followed them and became popular here too.
Who does tattoo discrimination mostly impact?
So it mostly impacts lower income communities, as those are the people that are more likely to have lots of tattoos, so they're the ones who are missing out on job opportunities and stuff like that based on this discrimination. Thank you.
Awesome.